Let me just... Advertising. Advertising! Cut. Okay. Let me just start off by saying, I'm just a girl. I'm not a neuroscientist. I'm not a research professional. I'm just a girl who has something to say. Cool? Cool. If you're ready, a lot of people aren't ready to hear this because it's kind of a harsh truth. A lot of it's your fault. Manipulated, and it's your fault. Let me really quickly introduce a video and explain why. Hidden psychology of marketing and why you feel like you're never enough. It's kind of soul crushing. Let's talk about it. So I made a video last week about social media and my experience deleting it, and I'm realizing it's not just scrolling on my phone, it's everywhere. In billboards, it's in posters, it's in newspapers, it's in magazines. It's in magazines. It manipulates you into thinking there's a certain lack or desire in your life, and you're not going to be complete until you fill that void by purchasing what's being advertised. Now, marketing psychology is defined as such. I have my journal. I took a lot of notes. Again, I'm just a girl with a journal. Study of consumer behavior to influence buying decisions creates perceived lack or desire. First, we're going to talk about how marketing creates that lack and manipulates you to think there's something lacking and it will never be enough. Your life will never be complete until you buy this product. They have a tactic called comparison triggers where it creates a lack. So they say that, oh, Gigi Hadid is on this skincare brand. She's on the cover of this ad for this skincare brand. It takes a certain person with a certain je ne sais quoi like Gigi. She's a supermodel, she's active, she's cool, she's fun, she's unapologetically herself. If you want to be like that, you better use a skincare. You better use a skincare or else you're never going to feel like that. Do you even feel like that now? Are you confident? Are you confident? It makes you have that thought in your head where it's like, Gigi's so confident, she uses this, but am I confident? I don't use Neutrogena. Am I confident? You see what I mean? The wheels start to turn. Next, scarcity and FOMO. Everyone suffers from FOMO, and it puts you in this scarcity mindset when you're constantly looking at these ads with things that people have that maybe you don't. They like to claim, oh, it takes a certain person to use this product. You gotta be a man who has alpha male energy, who's the leader of your family, to buy this Chevy truck.
Hold up. You messing with my truck? You messing with my truck, dipstick?
Type of, right? And bonus, they also love to use bargaining tactics of like 50% off today and today only. When really they mark it up double the price and they just cross it off and write it as 50% when it's really just the regular baseline price. Or Bath & Body Works, buy 3, get 3 free candles. Girl, you didn't need a candle in the first place. What makes you think you desperately need one now just because there's a sale? Next, they use emotional manipulation. I learned about this in English class back in high school. Shout out to my English teacher. He was the best. Anyway, they use ethos, logos, and pathos. Today I want to focus on pathos, or the emotional appeal of something to convey or bring out a specific emotion out of the observer or audience. So fear, insecurity, aspiration, lack, desire, all strong emotions that connect with deep emotional drivers. Am I a masculine man? Do I feel unapologetically feminine in myself and free-spirited? Not just how you look, but how you feel, who you are. Lastly, they use something called the transformation illusion. Now, I, just like everyone else, I love a good transformation. I love a good underdog movie. I love a good before and after progress photo, right? So they try to paint the picture so that you feel like you're stuck in the before phase. And girl, you will never ever ever get to the after until you buy this product. They paint you as the before. And they act like the only way to get to the after is to use that shortcut and buy the product. I want to explain the science behind it as a 20-something-year-old girl, as if I'm spilling the tea to you about some friends of ours, okay? Now, I love neuroscience. Andrew Huberman is one of my favorite people in the world. I love podcasts on psychology and the deeper meaning and looking behind the curtain and why we think the way that we do. So without further ado, I drew this cute little picture and it's titled Brain Regions Involved in Neuroscience Marketing Tactics to Create a Sense of Lack. So first we have the limbic system. So limbo, she does emotional processing. She triggers the fear of missing out, decision making, and she also triggers that sense of lack, urgency, or desire. That is all taking place in the limbic system. So this fires when you feel that emotional trigger of desire or urgency or anything like that. Next, dopamine pathway. We've all heard of dopamine and its functions from countless podcasts to TikToks and YouTube videos, etc. It's the reward system, and it gives you a fresh hit of dopamine, or that feel-good neurotransmitter, when you push add to cart or you decide to buy something. Next, we have the T. So we have Amy, this blue little river squiggle here. Her name's Amy, and Amy's kind of a mean girl. Amy's kind of a bitch. She's not very nice. She functions with emotional triggers. She triggers an emotional reaction. Fear appeals, social comparison, manipulates a sense of urgency. Amy kind of gives you that not so feel good neurotransmitter, that not so feel good feeling that makes you question everything. Amy, we're trying to distance ourselves from her, right? But luckily, we have our prefrontal cortex, Courtney, or Court for short, as I like to call her. Courtney, she's really cool. She's kind of a big deal. A lot of people know her as the girl who develops once everyone hits 25, and she's responsible for being rational, for decision making, for having rational, logical judgment. And she functions as a brake pedal or a safety lock for Amy. Now, Amy and Court are friends, but Court could care less. She's like, I'm gonna do my thing regardless. And so she functions as that safety blanket for people who don't really want to be triggered by Amy. She's a super comforting friend. She's like the therapy friend. So again, she functions as that safety lock to the mean girl, Amy, and her crash out tendencies. Rational evaluation, impulse control, mindfulness. That's what fires. Court is the one who fires when that all goes off in your brain. So bottom line, we want to get a little closer to Court, and we want to get the heck away from Amy. I'm going to show you how. First of all, you want to have a growth mindset, and with that, you need to accept that discomfort and growth kind of go hand in hand. So personally, I like to link my growth and my spirituality together. On the last video about social media, I challenged you to question everything. And today's no exception. I want you to do the same thing today. So a little journal prompt I actually wrote out in my journal is, can you think of a time when an ad has made you feel lack and gotten you to buy their product? I can. I would say workout gear for sure. I will buy workout gear yeah, that's one for me. Clothes, workout gear. Now, another example I wrote, let's say, so you're spending Saturday morning with your girls in the coffee shop. You guys are all sitting with your little lattes, talking about things, and then everyone in your group, except for you, is talking about this Stanley Cup and how great this cup is and how awesome this cup is and like how it's so cute, and they just feel like so cool when they drink out of their little Stanley Cups. Well, guess what? You probably have that FOMO. You're gonna feel triggered. Now, when you do, I want you to pay attention to the awareness you feel in your body. Do you feel a tightness in your chest? Do you feel your ears, your cheeks kind of getting flushed, heating up? Pay attention to that somatosensory trigger. So questioning the ads, questioning your friends, questioning why you have the reactions you do, by first focusing on awareness in your body when you do have the reaction, this will allow you to feel empowered and that you have more control over your finances and where you are at this point in your life. And it will bring more attention to you as a soul, as well as your somatosensory cortex, or the neurotransmitters that fire signaling certain triggers in your body, so that you can then separate your soul and your body as two separate entities. This is really important. That body scan, or feeling everything in your body, having that mindfulness, having that sense of awareness, will allow you to separate your body, or that somatosensory cortex, from your soul, who you actually are, who you truly are, feel, believe at your core. So let's say they're talking about the Stanley Cup and you just have a little Five Below water bottle. You get a little nervous, you get a little self-conscious. Okay, pause. If you practice this mindfulness and you scan your body, you will begin to notice that you yourself as a soul, as an ethereal entity, are not nervous. It's your body. Sorry, it's my cat. It's your body setting that somatosensory cortex trigger so that your brain can perceive that you're nervous out of protection, to try and protect you, because back in the day, feelings like this would most likely mean death is near. But that's not the case nowadays. So that somatosensory cortex is going to fire, and signals are going to signal to neurotransmitters such as adrenaline, epinephrine, things that get your heart pumping, your blood flowing, really kind of nervous and jittery, to fire so that your body feels nervous, so that it can try to convince your soul that you're nervous, so that it can go into fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. Topic for another video. But anyway, my point is, bringing that awareness will allow you to separate your soul from your body. My soul's not nervous. I'm not nervous. My body's a little anxious. This is interesting. Let me not try to fight it. Let me try to accept it. Let me ride this wave and we'll let it pass. That's super important. Bring awareness to that and question everything. This practice leads to acceptance of not only those body signals, but yourself. This allows a more peaceful, loving, joyful, nourishing headspace for both you and your somatosensory cortex to take your business elsewhere. We don't have time to feel nervous, we don't have time to feel insecure, and we don't have time to be spending money on things we don't need. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I enjoyed filming it. Again, I'm no research expert. I had fun making this video, and if you take anything away, just know that awareness is important. Paying attention to your body is important. Being mindful is important, and question everything. I'll see you in the next video. Have a good weekend. Bye!